What's happening, guys? Our lure review this week is going to be on the Rapala X-Rap Pop. It's Rapala's new topwater popper. You can see I got two of them here, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at them. Okay, guys, so the Rapala X-Rap Pop. They have one size right now. They're calling it the XRP 07. It has a body length of 2 3/4 of an inch and a weight of 3/8 of an ounce. You can see it's got two VMC black nickel treble hooks. They're number 5s, and they have just like all the X-Raps have. They have this feathered and mylar teaser trailer hook on it. And generally, these are pretty nice as far as the fact that they use feathers, but they don't really use a lot on them. Go and take a closer look at that. So you can see that the feathers that they use are obviously light, but they don't use very many of them. Looks like they only use maybe 3, where most people use about 6. They use about 2 in each gap of the hook, and it looks like they're only using 3. And they went a little light on the mylar flash here too, but that's pretty consistent with all the X-Raps and all the Rapalas. So, and it's better than nothing in my opinion. So, you can see that they come with these 3-dimensional holographic eyes, and they're the same 3-dimensional holographic eyes that you're gonna find on a lot of the Rapalas and all the X-Raps. It has the raised fin right here, and it also has a raised gill plate as well. There's no lip design; it's just the cup mouth. There's no design around the lip here. It looks like it has an etched scale pattern in there as well, or a raised scale pattern, but if you run your finger across here, you can't feel anything, so it's probably underneath the plastic here. The X-Rap stuff, they all kind of look the same as far as their finishes are concerned, and what I'm getting at is that when you look at an X-Rap, it almost looks like you can kind of see through it, because it almost looks like the foil is behind the plastic, which I'm actually pretty sure it is. So the foil flashy finish that you see on an X-Rap is not on the body of the bait. Normally X-Raps are very, very durable, and I'm sure that these are going to be right on par with the durability of the other X-Raps that I have. So just kind of something to point out for you, that you'll see that it does have those scale patterns in there, but it's not on top of the bait. It's kind of inside, and it's definitely not painted on either. So you can see this one says Rapala X-Rap Pop 07. Now here's what I'm thinking. The fact that they're distinguishing this as a 07, but they only have one X-Rap Pop, is leading me to believe that they just haven't come out with another size yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and say look out for another size, and it'll probably be a 1/4 ounce size, because the 1/4 ounce size is probably the most popular size popper that you can get, and then this one being second, the 3/8 ounce size. So if I can go ahead and give you a measurement here. It's almost 3 inches with that ring, probably about 7/8. And then without the ring, it's 3/4. So 2 3/4 and 2 7/8. So you can see right there. It's a rather large popper. When you look at it on websites, it doesn't look as big as it actually is. Here's a Rebel popper, a Rebel Pop R. And like I said, I've said before with my other popper reviews that there's basically 2 sizes of poppers. There's a 1/4 ounce size and a 3/8 ounce size. And you can see this is obviously, it is a 3/8 ounce lure, but it's obviously the bigger size. So just keep that in mind when you're buying it, because it looks a lot smaller in the pictures. I think I fall a lot into that being deceived. I don't think that they're trying to deceive you or anything like that, but the point is that pictures sometimes don't tell the whole story, which is part of the reason why I like to show you guys the lures up against other lures, and also like to give you measurements so you guys can have a good idea of how big they are, because you really lose the scale of how big or small these things are when you're just kind of holding them or taking pictures of them. So just keep in mind this is the bigger one. Now here's my impressions of the bait, the first things that I notice when I pick up the bait. I'm going to go into the second part here in a second, but here's one of the first things that I notice is that this is more of like a triangular finish as opposed to like this one's like a circle. This is like a triangular finish here. So it's like this has got like a flat bottom on it and flat sides. Not flat, but flatter. They're not completely rounded. They're kind of straight and then they round over like this. And then the other thing that I notice about this is that it's slightly arced. You've got a slight arc to the entire bait. So starting here, it kind of goes up and over here. Now, what does that mean to you? I really don't know if it means anything, to be honest with you. I noticed that when I was popping it out on the one of the ponds I was fishing at the other day, that if I popped it like twice in a row really quick, the first pop would do a really, really nice pop, but then the second pop would kind of dive down. So I don't know if that's good or bad for you. The diving down part of it is, to me, I guess it could be good because it offers some more of a profile for the fish to see, because normally this is all they're seeing, or maybe a little bit like this, because they're seeing side angle views. They're never really seeing the back. But if you pop it and it dives down, then I guess that they're going to be able to see more of the bait. Now that could have been something that I was doing to the bait. I was imparting an action possibly that other people may not be able to do just because maybe I'm not working the bait correctly or something. I don't know. But I noticed that when I popped it twice in a row, it would kind of dive down, and it wasn't very drastic. But it definitely, the second pop, I mean, it would make like a good plop on the first pop, and then the second one, it was almost like there was no pop, and then it went straight down into the water. Now, the only thing that I can really attribute that to is maybe the fact that this is arced a little bit. Now, you can see some of these baits, they have an arced back, but this is like a flat bottom on this Rebel. Whereas this one, you can see, I mean, it's slightly arced on the bottom. The whole bait is slightly arced here. So they say that this bait has an internal, what do they say? An internal long cast is what Rapala says it has. Now, I know that the other X-Raps, I've tried to get a clear one, but they don't have a clear one, so I can't show you what the inside of these things looks like. But normally the X-Raps, like the regular X-Rap rip baits, they have an internal long cast chamber, which when you rock it to the back, the balls will fall towards the tail to help them more tail weighted, so you can get more centrifugal force to help it cast longer. And then when you pull it, it goes more towards the front. Now, I don't think that this has anything like that, because when I shift it, you're just hearing the rattles in there. So that's the only thing I can think of, is that it's just a rattle that's pushing towards the back. But the Rebels do that as well. Now, as far as it being tail weighted and the way it sits in the water, it doesn't sit very aggressively like this in the water, but it also doesn't sit flat in the water. I noticed that it kind of just sits like that. Okay, so the other thing that I noticed, it is a 3/8 ounce lure, but it casts a long way. And I know I really appreciate that, especially with poppers, to be able to get the most out of every cast that I throw out there. I like being able to work every cast as long as I can, especially with crankbaits, hard baits, stuff like that, because I want to be able to work that lure as long as I can before I have to cast again. So, and you're going to get a pretty good distance. I think I was probably getting about 130 to 140 feet out of this, which is pretty good to me, it's pretty good for a 3/8 ounce lure. So some of you guys that are really good long casters could probably get this thing out to 150 feet. So that's really good for a popper, you guys. I mean, normally I'm only getting these Rebels out to 90 or 100 feet. So that's really good. And just so you guys know, if you guys ever want to know how to figure out how long you're casting, just in case you don't already know, your reel has so many inches of retrieve. So if you cast it out and you reel up the slack before it actually starts coming in, every time you turn the crank, it brings in so many inches. So if you have if you have 30 inches of line retrieve per handle turn, then you're getting 2.5 feet. So if you do the math and you crank your handle 80 times before it comes back in, well, do the math. I'm not going to do it here, but you see what I'm saying? Just a little tip for you guys. I'm going to go over the colors here. You can obviously see that this is a perch color. They call this one yellow perch. I bought it because it's kind of like a bluegill imitation for me. I don't have any perch in my area, but it does kind of mimic a bluegill decently, and I just wanted that louder color, so I went with this yellow perch. It's got the orange belly, orange mouth, kind of like the pearl white belly. It's got a forest green back with the 5 perch stripes. So there is yellow perch. The next one I have here is pearl gray shiner. A lot more muted of a color, just the red mouth, the kind of like a gray. It looks black in the picture. It's not black, it's gray. And then it's fading down into a silver on the sides. And like I said, that silver on the sides is very, it's just like what an X-Rap has. I mean, they're all kind of foil pattern-ish because of the fact that that's just an X-Rap deal that they do. They all kind of have that foil underneath the plastic there. So they're all going to have a little bit of that shine. And then it's also got that white belly there as well. So there's pearl gray shiner for you. So anyway, there they are, you guys. The Rapala X-Rap Pop. I know I like them. I really enjoy using poppers. So check these things out. And I don't think you guys will be disappointed at all. So thanks for watching.